All right. Uh, Number 6. Buffy died twice. The first time in season 1 and the second time in season 5. Her brief death in season 1 caused a new Slayer to be activated. What was her name? Susan, Jane, Kendra, or Lucy? Or Lucy?
Kendra.
Correct. Kendra. Did it stand out to you immediately as I said it?
I remember Kendra because when I first started watching Buffy, I was at a friend's house and she's like, "You got to watch this show. It's really great." And I was like, "Yeah, I really wasn't into vampires and demons at the time." And when the show came on, I was like, "Well, wait a minute, a girl that like fights demons? This is actually pretty cool." And then the cast was so whitewashed that when Kendra came around, like, she brought tears to my eyes, because then it was like, not only can girls fight back, but Black girls can fight back too. And that was really huge. So that Kendra has always been one of my favorite characters, and the death of that character was genuinely heartbreaking.
Damn. Okay. All right. Number 7. The episode Once Over With feeling was completely different to any other, as well as being the most technically complex episode. Why was this? It was in black and white, it was a musical, it was in 3D, or it was in a foreign language.
It was a musical, and it was so painful to watch.
Oh my God. Why was it painful to watch?
Oh, they had this like redheaded devil who fed on, every time you sang a song, he fed on your energy. And so he was killing you slowly. And it was about this new character, Dawn, that had been introduced. And through the magic of magic, Dawn just like magically appeared, and everybody knew her and knew that she existed. And yet she didn't somehow fit into this world. And she didn't fit because of the fact that a bunch of monks had created her out of magic. And so it was sort of this anchor episode, like trying to explain why she doesn't fit in as a teenage girl whose friends are all older and all fighting demons. And really, it was like, she doesn't fit in because she's not human, and she's not of this earth, and she just doesn't belong in this circle of people. And it was just so painful to watch because of all of the teenage angst. Like, it's the stuff that kids go through. The attention seeking and the stealing stuff because you want someone to notice that you're in pain and no one's noticing, right? And I resonated with that so much that it, like, and then the singing and the dancing, like, it was just cringeworthy. And then you've got Buffy being like, "Yeah, y'all ripped me out of heaven. I was in heaven, and you took me out of heaven to bring me back here, not once but twice." And so it was all this emotion, just kind of, it was almost too much emotion. You know what I mean? Like, it was I just wish they'd toned it down just a little bit, because in comparison to the rest of the show, it was just overdone.
Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest. I've never really been a fan of like musicals in general. So like when a show of mine does a musical, it is pretty cringeworthy for me. I know, like for me, it's sort of the fact of like, how does everybody know all of this? And, you know, they use sort of like weird explanations like magic and whatever, but it's just like sometimes it still doesn't work.
Yeah, no, the only part that I really loved was watching Rupert Giles, who's Anthony Stephen Head, sing, because he puts, and there was a couple episodes where he sang, um, he's just so good at it. And you just kind of lose yourself in the music, and it fit the character. And in that particular episode, it didn't fit for the rest of the characters. Like Spike singing, really?
Yeah.
A 1980s vampire that's supposed to look like a punk rocker singing a love song, like, it just didn't fly.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Question 8. Willow's boyfriend, Oz, was a regular throughout seasons 2 to 4. He played lead guitar in a band which appeared in the Bronze regularly. What was the name of the band? Bare Naked Ladies, REM, Santana, or Dingoes Ate My Baby?
Dingoes Ate My Baby. I absolutely love Oz. He was such a good character. And I can't remember the name of the actor off the top of my head, but he's such an underutilized actor. Like, he's so funny. He's so charismatic. He's everything you want in a character. He can do anything from Buffy, where he's playing a werewolf, to what's that Mike Myers movie? Austin Powers. Like, he's got it all. Yeah. He's got the range, and he hasn't found that project yet where he can, like, completely envelope himself into it. But I'm telling you, he's going to be an Oscar winner one day. No doubt.
What's the last thing you've seen him in?
He had a cartoon show on the Cartoon Network, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called, but it was raunchy and just off the wall hilarious. And it was, like, so unexpected because he's in Buffy, he's low-key funny, and he's kind of got those quips, and he's, like, super chill and super relaxed. And every once in a while, they would give him a line that was hilarious. But in this cartoon, it was just nonstop funny. And I think that's the last thing that I saw him in, which is a shame because he should be killing it right now.
Okay. All right. Question 9. Who did Xander lose his virginity with? Cordelia, Anya, Willow, or Faith?
Faith.
Faith, correct.
Yeah. I really liked that episode a lot.
What do you remember the most about the episode?
It was so funny because Xander spent his whole life, once he found out about vampires, just hating them. Like, they killed his best friend. They destroyed his city. They basically took everything from him that made him innocent and pure. And Angel specifically, he hated because, Angel was everything that Xander wasn't, but also he was a vampire. And in this episode, you see Faith and Xander connect, and they have sex, and Xander's like, yes, I found an ally. I found somebody that understands me, and, you know, I'm going to fall in love. And it was that sensation that guys go through when they first have sex of, like, I'm in love because she had sex with me. Meanwhile, Faith is like, no, it was just sex. And it was such a powerful moment for women because of the fact that at that time in television, Sex in the City hadn't come out yet. And so nobody was talking about the fact that sometimes girls just like to have sex, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. And that doesn't make them a slut or a whore. It just makes them somebody that likes sex. And Joss Whedon was like, no, some women just like to have sex. And that was such a confusing thing for Xander because it's such a confusing thing for men in general that women can roll over and be like, peace, man, see you later. That for him to put that out there on a show that was predominantly targeted towards young women was kind of unheard of. And that's what made that episode really powerful, is that, like, he was saying women can enjoy sex and not have it be a big thing. Whereas guys, on the other hand, they get emotional and women don't always. And that's not something anybody had ever said before.
Right. That makes sense. It seems like a real flip of the script of what usually is portrayed in a lot of in a lot of shows generally, that it's like, the women, when they sleep with you, they become, super emotional, and you really can absolutely distance yourself from it. It really, showed it's like, hey, sometimes it's the opposite direction. Like it's
Yeah.
not always, it's not always one way or the other.
Exactly. And that was really important because I grew up Catholic, and so there was always this stigma that, like, if you have sex, you're going to go to hell. Well, Faith had sex, and she got to be a badass superhero. So,
Nice.
like, that was a little bit, I don't know if that was the intended direction that he was going for, but it did definitely flip a switch in my brain that, like, just because you have sex with somebody doesn't mean that you have to marry them and you're going to fall in love and everything's going to be perfect, right?
Yeah, it introduced you to a new idea, which is great. I've learned so many new ideas from just watching television endlessly. All right. Number 10. Where did Oz and Willow meet? The magic shop, the Bronze, a career fair, or a coffee shop?
Oh, that's a hard one.
We're starting to get into the hard ones.
Okay, this one's difficult because I know he saw her in a Halloween episode where she turned into a ghost.
Right.
And I know he saw her at the Bronze, but I feel like it's the career day.
Is that your final answer?
I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go with career day.